The achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the long street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The news.
Hi, thanks so much for joining in. Happy Monday to you. My name is Alex Matthew. With me is Mahima Vajrajani, and the two of us will take you through the next 1 hour of trade. The show is called Ask Profit, and as the name suggests, it gets you answers to all of your stock-related questions. And there are a variety of ways that you can get in touch with Mahima and myself. One of them, of course, is the call. You can just pick up your phone and you can dial the number that you see on your screen, and we'll try and take your call. Not promising it. We will take as many as we possibly can. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp, and we'll definitely try and take as many questions on that route as well. Mahima, how's the weekend?
Oh, the weekend was tiring, as well as a lot of shopping because Black Friday sale was on. So yeah, that was it about my weekend.
Fantastic. All right. So yeah. I had a fun weekend as well. Let us know what you think about your weekend and how you think trade is looking at the start of the new week. It is chop and churn right at the start, but we are trading in positive territory for the Nifty 50, and it's been a very narrow range once again. 170 points, 175 odd points for the Nifty 50. Overall, the market breadth in favor of the advances as we speak right now, because the broader markets are looking reasonably good. I think it's more or less flat for the mid-cap index, but the small-cap index up about 0.4% or thereabouts, and that's why you're seeing gains. The IT stocks are holding off the falls that you're seeing in certain other pockets. The Nifty Bank is underperforming, down about 0.4% or so, but the IT pack is up about that same level. And among the other movers, you have the likes of Realty, which is doing quite well, up about 1.7%. Pharma, that's up about 1% or so. Media is up about 0.7%. But among the losers, like I mentioned, you have the banking pack and the PSU banking pack also that are under a little bit of pressure. Any individual stocks that you're looking at that stand out today?
Absolutely. Let's pull up Adani and see what it's doing in trade today. The stock did see a good uptick after its con call and a lot of positive commentary coming in. Yes, the stock is up around 3%. Adani Green also is doing very well in trade today, up around 7%. Let's also pull up Cipla and see what it's doing in trade today. And something like Dixon that has entered into a manufacturing agreement. Dixon is also doing well in trade today, up around 5%. So these are some of the outliers in trade today. But Ease My Trip did see a lot of gains on Friday, but now it's seeing certain profit booking. It's down around 5%, I believe. If we can pull up Ease My Trip and see, that counter is under pressure, and there's some profit booking seen in Ease My Trip as well. But Alex, we have Osho Krishnan who is joining us.
In fact, we have both our experts joining us. We've got Osho Krishnan as well as Saurabh Jain joining us this morning. Thanks so much, gentlemen, for taking the time, and welcome to Ask Profit. I'll jump straight into the questions that we have, and the first one is for you, Osho, and coming in from Sham Babu, who's asking about JSW Energy. I do not know what level he has bought at, but he's holding right now, and he's asking what the near-term trends are for the stock. Would you hold or sell at this juncture?
Very good morning, Alex and Mahima. Firstly, thank you for having me at the show. Well, now coming to the query on JSW Energy, then this counter has been one of the outperformer in the recent period. Overall, it is into a consolidation zone. We can also say that it is into a time-wise corrective phase for the time being. But overall, the technical structure is still on the higher end. So I'm expecting that from here onwards, it is at the lower band of its consolidation. Approximately 640.45 is a very strong support for this counter. So I expect that from here onwards, it can see some kind of cushioning and can witness a pullback in the coming period. On the higher end, 720 and 750 is the immediate resistance or can be seen as a target for short-term trader. But the time it breaches the zone of 750, then from there onwards, we can see a decent movement of approximately 100 points on the higher end. So definitely one should definitely hold their investment in this counter from short to medium term time frame.
Okay. All right. The next question that's coming in is from Madhusudan, who's writing in from Bengaluru, and he's asking about Adani Green. The stock is gaining in trade today. Several statements made by the group. Of course, it's given up a little bit of ground, but it has recovered all of the losses that it incurred over the past couple of weeks. So, on the fundamentals, what he's asking is whether it can be bought right now and at least held till the next general elections.
Hi, good morning, Alex. Thank you for having me on the show. See, particularly from the valuation point of view, I find Adani Green very expensive. It is quoting approximately 190 times to its trailing earnings and more than 20 times to book value. So from that perspective, I feel that a lot of growth is already being factored in the prices. So in that sense, I would say avoid Adani Green.
Standard disclaimer, of course, this is Adani Green that we just spoke about. NDTV Profit is part of the NDTV group, which is owned by the Adani group.
All right. The next question is from Rajeshri, who's from Ahmedabad. She's holding 500 shares of L&T Finance and she's bought it at 145 a piece, and she wants to know whether she should keep holding it, sell it, or add more. Saurav, I'll come to you for this one. Your outlook on the particular counter, L&T Finance?
The numbers posted by the company was okay. I mean, on the valuation side, it is quite comforting. I mean, it's quoting below book value, I guess. So I think the sector looks good, and so the company, my take would be hold on to it.
We've got, so Rajshri is just, hopefully that answers your question, Rajshri. We're taking the next one from Shrikant, who's writing in from Telangana. Okay, and the question that he's asking is about Gala Precision. Let's pull up the stock and see where it's currently trading. He has bought, but he has not told us the buy price. The stock is currently trading just above 1,000. Would you hold or sell? What's the view on the charts, Osho?
See, overall, this counter is recently listed, so there is not a very strong technical data for this counter, but I expect that overall with the kind of a higher movement that we have seen from the zone of nearly 800 towards 1300 odd levels, the counter have seen a decent correction from the higher end. Still looking at the overall short-term trend, there can be some room for further correction near the zone of 950 to 920. So one should wait for further correction towards 920, and that can be a level where one can try to accumulate this counter in the coming period.
All right, I believe we've got our first caller of the day. Chakrapani is calling us from Bengaluru. Good morning, Chakrapani. How can I help you today?
Yeah. Good morning, sir. I am holding Dilip Buildcon Limited, DBL. Okay, around 2,000 quantity I have. I have averaged for a period of 3 months. My average rate is around 499. Normally, I used to book profit quite often around 550, 580 like that.
Yeah.
But this time I got stuck at 499. So what should I do? Should I hold? Book profit after 50, 60 rupees.
Yeah, I just want to confirm, Chakrapani, you bought this from the perspective of trading strategy, right?
Trading, yeah.
Okay.
I've been watching this stock for last 3 years.
3 years, okay. And intermittently you're saying that you bought and sold this stock and you generally
bought and sold and yeah.
Okay, so you're losing a little bit of ground right now. 485 is the current price. Let's get across to Osho and kind of get you a view on the strategy that you should employ. Average price of 499, Osho, we're talking about DBL here, Dilip Buildcon. 485 is the current price. What is the strategy that you would employ here?
See, overall, as he has mentioned that the counter sees a resistance around the zone of 560, 580, and after that can see some kind of, or also see some kind of downside towards the zone of 460, 470. So it is at a very strong support zone. Last week, we have seen a very strong pullback in this counter, which has seen a decent spur towards the 200-day simple moving average. So in the coming period, definitely one can expect a decent target on the higher end. Immediately 520-25 can be seen in the coming period, and the time it breaches the zone of 525, then again 540-45 should be the target that one can eye for in the short term trend. So definitely from a trading perspective, one can stay hold to their position at 499, and on the lower end, the strong support is placed around the zone of 460. So it is advisable to keep a stop of 460 for immediate target of 525 followed by 545.
Right. The next question is from Vijay, who's from Chennai. Now, he's a senior citizen and he's bought Bajaj Housing Finance 150 shares at 166 a piece, and he wants to sell now, and he wants to know a right exit level to do this, and his horizon is max 3 months time. So, Osho, I'll stick with you for this one. What, according to you, should be the right price he should exit at?
See, overall, Bajaj Housing is into a downtrend. There has been no decent respite or pullback that can be seen, but in the last few trading sessions, the counter has emerged above the zone of 130 on a precise manner. So I expect that there can be a decent consolidation near the zone of 128 to 130 odd levels. If it sustains above the same levels, then we can see some further continuation of consolidation zone. But on the higher end, immediately it is very difficult to gauge any kind of momentum in this counter. So one should better try to either exit near the zone of 140 or can even wait for medium-term time frame as an short-term investor.
Okay, all right, got that. Mahesh from Vijayawada is joining us on the phone line. Mahesh, good morning. You want to know about Borosil Renewable, right? Have you already bought the stock? Mahesh, can you hear me?
What is the outlook of Borosil Renewable? Shall I buy at this rate or not?
Oh, shall you buy? Okay, so what is the kind of time horizon that you've got, Mahesh?
1 year.
1 year. So it's a trading strategy that you're looking for. But I'll still go across to Saurabh on the fundamentals, because this is a counter that's quite interesting. The business outlook should be something that you should watch as well. So from that perspective, Saurabh, would you like to buy Borosil for a period of a year?
Management has already indicated that a lot of competition is there for the company's products. I mean, a lot of imports are coming into the India at a price near their cost of production. So if you look at the numbers on the operational metrics, also they are posting losses, and right, minor losses are there, but they are still to make. They're still some way finding difficult to sell the products at the optimum prices. So in that sense, on the valuation side, it is quoting at above 6 times to book value, and the bottom line is in red. So I would say better avoid it.
See, this is not a specific stock-related question. It is, but I don't expect you to have a view on this, Saurabh. We've got a viewer, Haresh Thakkar, who has bought Indo Solar, which he is experiencing a loss on, and he points out that the stock has since been delisted, and he's wondering how to kind of get his money out, whatever is left of it. Now, the reason I'm asking you about this is because a lot of people do enter these penny stocks, and often there are companies that get into NCLT, insolvency, and stocks get delisted. What is the process, if you can tell us in a short manner, that you can try and get your money? You generally get in touch with the company, right?
Yeah, I mean, you can get in touch with the company through their registrar and ask them what is happening in the company. Is the promoter, is the company is ready to buy the stocks lying with the shareholder because of the delisting? How the delisting, why the delisting was happened? I mean, it is because of some negligence of the rules that is mandatory for every company by the exchanges or not. So you can ask the registrar, write a letter to them, and or call them. They'll probably respond.
Yeah.
All right. So I hope, Harish, your question has been answered. The next caller that we have is V. Ravichandran, who's from Chennai. Welcome to the show, and how can we help you, Ravichandran?
I have invested HP adhesives at 95 rupees.
Okay.
400 shares of HP adhesives.
Mm-hmm.
I want a fundamental view whether I can invest further for a long term. Long term means 3 to 5 years.
Okay. So what was your rationale behind investing in this, first of all?
It's a newly listed company, and it is serving. It has a wide variety of products.
Okay.
So which I feel has growth potential.
Okay.
That was the logic behind.
All right. Saurabh, I'll come to you. Your view on HP adhesive, if you have the coverage.
Actually, it is a very small company, less than 800 crore worth of market cap, not in coverage.
All right.
But okay, let me step in just to okay. If you don't have specific coverage on the HP Adhesives company, then what about the space? Because you're talking about industrial adhesives. Am I right in that assessment? And if that is the case, what stock would you prefer in the investment horizon?
Look at the bellwether in the industry like Pidilite, they're also struggling with the margins and the the volume. I mean, they are finding it is difficult for them to push the volumes. So I think if the bigger player is in the pain, smaller can anyone can expect how the smaller can behave. So in that sense, also it should be avoided.
All right. The next question is from Kishore, and he wants a take on Reliance. Should I hold, sell, or buy? And at what price it should be for the next 1 year? Osho, I'll come to you for this one. Your take on how Reliance Industries look on charts?
See, overall, Reliance is placed at a very lucrative level, I will be saying, because on technical front, we have seen a multi-week breakout around the zone of 1200, 1250 odd levels in the month of December last year, and again in this December 2024, the counter has hit the same levels. So it is the retesting of the breakout zone, the retesting of the neckline. So from here onwards, one can definitely expect a decent move in this counter. Again, being the largest cap company in India, so I expect that there will be a gradual up move, but on the higher end, immediately 1400, 1420 should be the target that one can eye for in the short term, followed by 1500 to 1580 kind of a zone that one can definitely see over a period of time.
So considerable upside seen in Reliance Industries, even in the short term. So keep that on your radar. We do want to interrupt the queries just for a short while because it's an interesting show. I'm very excited about it. It's going to be coming up for the first time today. It's at 11:30. The name of the show is Know Your Company. And to talk about it, I have the anchor of the show joining us in studio right now, Agam Vakil.
Yeah.
Agam, I'm really excited about this. I told you in the newsroom, but why don't you tell our viewers about what this is all about?
Right. So, Alex, any equity markets has a culture of this company looks good and that company looks bad and ye achhi lagti hai and wo maza nahi hai. But our endeavor here is to actually take these companies up which have been spoken about in social media or been discussed on the street in general, and to give you a slightly deeper analysis on the company, and along with that we will take a street view, that is we'll have an analyst to talk about that specific company, and we will have a management of the company. So we'll give you an overall all-around perspective on what you could potentially do. So in fact, we're rating this company on its past performance. We're also giving an outlook, and not only are we talking about it with analysts, but we're also talking to the management about this.
So you would basically go into valuations, you would go into earnings picture, you would look at peer comparisons, the whole picture.
Yes, absolutely. And the other advantage here, as I see it as someone who would like to view this, is, just brushing up with your basics, because I'm going to be talking about the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flows. I'm going to talk about return ratios. So I go down to the very basics, talk about that, take that up. Also, let's not forget, I'm going to be comparing that with the peers, that specific company with its peers and how that's been performing. So I'm going to try and do as much as possible to give you a really good picture of whether or not it should be an interesting, investment bet or no.
AstraZeneca is the first company we're taking. That is today. Agam, thanks so much for joining in and for giving us that sneak peek, that preview. I would encourage you to watch the program live at 11:30, because this is going to give you a perspective as to whether or not the stock that you've invested in should be held on to. I will say this, not every day that you look at the cash flow statement of a company, and this is something that is going to give you the absolute perspective that you need, beyond, of course, getting a fundamental view. So there are several questions that I have lined up in the meanwhile. Let's go across to our next caller. We've got Mohidil from Tamil Nadu, who is holding 500 shares of Equitas Small Finance Bank that he's bought at 82. Mohidil, thanks so much for calling us. Good morning to you.
Yeah, very good morning to you.
First of all, can you tell me, did you buy this for the short term or did you have a long-term fundamental view?
Actually, I'm a short-term trader.
Okay. So what was the thinking about this, and what are the kind of targets that you had in mind?
No, I bought it at the upper level because I bought it around 83, 84 and I brought it down to 74 now. It is almost 4 to 6 months over. I'm a bit worried.
You're a bit worried. Okay, how long can you hold on to this, Moideen?
No, that at least I am looking for some decent profit level.
Got it. Understood. Osho, I'll come to you on the technicals. So if I understand correctly, his average price has come down now to 74. He had gotten at elevated levels 82, 83. So therefore, would you suggest that he hold on to this, and what kind of strategy should he use?
See, overall, looking at the technical perspective of this counter, then it has been into a cycle of lower lows. So there has been a very strong corrective phase that is being seen in this counter. The only positive development that is being witnessed in this counter is that it is having a positive divergence on the technical indicators last week. That means the prices are coming on the lower front, but the technical indicators are showcasing a higher lows. That is a positive development for the counter. Also, if we will be looking at a broader term time frame, then approximately 58 to 60 is the zone from where it has started its higher journey in the past period. So I expect that in the coming period, I am not very much bullish in this counter, but overall, if the person is already having this position in this counter, so I would say to stay invested, 58 should be the stop loss that one could keep in this counter. On the higher end, not very much again aggressive, but that it is having a kind of a target or a resistance around the zone of 71 in the short term. And also, if it breaches the zone of 71, then we can see a decent pullback or respite from the falling zone in this counter. So after that, approximately 75 should be the next potential target where one should try to exit their position.
75 is the target given for Equitas Small Finance Bank. The next question is from Devi Prasad, who's from Bangalore. Now, his query is on Dreamfolks. What he's done is he's averaged down since 2023 from 489 to 407. So he's bought it in staggered levels. And he's saying it's an unusual yet new business model. Can you get us some views on this particular script? Saurabh, I'll come to you for this one. Dreamfolks is doing new things. Apart from managing the lounges at airports, it's now entering into catering at highways as well. So your fundamental views on this particular counter?
I think these are the businesses you need to spend some time. The idea is good. I mean, the valuations have corrected now because the stock has underperformed largely in the last 2-3 years. So in my sense, I think stick with it and wait for the December quarter earnings and the management guidance, and then take a decision.
All right. We have to slip into a very quick break. Do stay with us, Saurabh and Osho. And viewers, will be back on the other side to take more of your questions. So do stay tuned.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you are trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter. The Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter, the Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the
Welcome back. you're watching Ask Profit, a show where we answer all your stock-related queries, whether they're fundamental or technical. For viewers who are just tuning in, you can ask all your queries on the number that will be flashing on your screen. You can ask both via WhatsApp, as well as you can call us on the number that is flashing right away on your screen. And we have our first caller for the day, who's Vivek from Tamil Nadu. Thanks for calling, Vivek. How can we help you? Hi, Vivek.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. So I'm looking for my retirement.
Okay.
So I'm going to be a long-term trader.
Okay.
So I've just listed down a couple of stocks which I'm thinking of investing now.
Okay.
One is Ola, ITC, and HDFC. Is it right time to buy at this current level?
All right.
And,
right.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Vivek,
come in here. Lump sum which I can invest now, or I have to keep buying at dips every time?
Vivek, a few clarifications that I have for you. When you say you're a long-term trader, what is the kind of time frame that you have in mind?
So I'm 41 now, so I'm looking for my retirement at 55.
So then you're a long-term investor, Vivek. Why are you calling yourself a trader?
Yes, I'm an investor. Yes.
Okay, you're a long-term investor. So do you have any investments in equity right now?
I had, and then I sold off.
You
so
sold
now
it off.
I'm looking to start fresh now.
Okay, good. All right. So let me take your question to Saurabh. You've said ITC, Ola Electric, and what is the third one that you said?
HDFC Bank.
HDFC Bank. All right, Saurabh, what's the view on these three?
I think if you look at the HDFC Bank, it's a kind of a portfolio stock. Yes, the growth has been slowed by the management because of the merger, but yes, things will surely come back on path. I think it's maybe 2-3 quarters down the line, we'll see HDFC Bank showing performance again. So in that sense, from long-term investment point of view, I think it's a good choice. With respect to the ITC, all the businesses are putting up a good show. I think the FMCGs, they are adding new products. The cigarette volumes are okay. Hotel business is doing good. Paper business is also okay. So from long-term perspective, ITC is also good. From the Ola, I would say better refrain from buying it. I think the company is selling their products, their bikes at discounted prices. A lot of allegations are also there with respect to the quality and service also, though the management had said that they have resolved to large extent. But when the business is not profitable, I think there is no point in putting up money, whether the cash is lying on the balance sheet or not. So in that sense, I would say avoid Ola, and the rest of the two, I think you can go ahead with that.
All right. So the next query is from Prakash, who's from Chennai. He's a long-term investor and he's holding CAMS 70 shares, I believe, at 2320. Am I right? If you can pull up CAMS and see what price it is trading at, there you go. And yes, he's sitting on significant amount of profits as well. He's holding this from IPO. So he's asking that he's seeing continuous promoters selling in the particular counter, and should he be alarmed by this or not? Saurabh, I'll stick to you with this one. Your view on CAMS?
The company is good. Valuations are on the higher side. I mean, the stock got re-rated in the last 2-3 years. Now the valuations are on the looks to me on the very higher side. I mean, that is why I think if the promoter is also making opportunity of this good price, then you should also. My take would be better to take some money off the table.
Okay. All right. Let's quickly run through the next question. We've got a question on Home First Finance, and this is a question coming in from Chandan, who's writing in from Hubli, and he's pointing out that there has been a block. I'm sorry, I haven't seen that. We're trying to get a check on that. The stock is down about 4% or so, and it's trading at 1010 or thereabouts. He's asking whether it can be bought right now. What's the view on the charts, Osho? Osho, can you hear me?
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah.
So overall, the fall that we have seen in today's trading session, approximately 4% lower, and looking at the overall trend in this counter, it has been in a cycle of lower lows, lower highs from the zone of 1350 towards the zone of 1000 as of now. But I would say that better to wait for some more consolidation, although technically around the zone of 980 to 1000 has been proven as a very strong breakout in the month of June, but I would say wait for some kind of consolidation because today's move has been backed by strong volume, so there can be a further correction in the coming period. So if in future the counter comes towards the zone of 950, then start accumulating in a staggered manner, not very much aggressively, or on the higher end, if it breaches or if it goes beyond the bearish gap on the higher end above 1050, then one should definitely try to accumulate looking at the technical perspective.
Got it. So that's the view on Home First Finance. Stock is down about 4% right now. Let's take the next question. We've got Pradeep Kumar who's calling us from Kerala. Pradeep, where in Kerala are you calling us from and what would you like to know? Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
Very well.
Thank you. I'm from Trivandrum, capital in Kerala.
Yes. And how can we help you today?
Actually, thank you so much. I have a few questions. So one, actually, I don't know, I can ask two questions. My first question is actually talking about the India Mart and I keeping that shares like 1,101. In recently performance, I feel I'm not very comfortable with one. I really would like to know exactly if I want to sell or keep. Anyway, that's the first one.
Okay.
And the second question, and I know some country really want to destroy our economy. So they are doing so many things about some people. So this situation, as an Indian, I would like to buy some Adani port. Which is the best one I can buy right now?
Got it. All right. So Adani ports you want to know about. Pradeep, I'll take your questions. Thanks so much for calling and for asking your questions. India Mart is the first one. Saurabh, I will come to you on both of them. India Mart bought at levels of 2511. What is the prospect here? And on Adani ports, a lot of people have spoken about the fact that the fundamentals are strong. Of course, you had price correction in the recent past. It's clawed back quite a bit of ground. But you had recent notes, if I'm not mistaken, Nuvama with an upside potential of 63% or thereabouts. Got to buy. A few other brokerages also coming out with notes. What's the view on these two?
I think in case of India Mart, the performance of the company is quite erratic. I mean, sometimes you see good revenue coming in, good subscriptions coming in, but largely the subscriptions that company is taking for the short term, they are finding it difficult to retain their customers, and that is the thing which market doesn't like, and the stock has got dumped by the investor. I mean, the stock has come underperformed this year. So in that sense, I think because of the cyclicality in the business, I think one should avoid it. With respect to the Adani port, I think the business is great. Yes, the company is good. Now the management, I mean, the chairman of the group has already said that they are, from the corporate governance standards, they are making sure that nothing will happen in the future also. I mean, they have nothing to do when their names are not there in the allegations also. So from that point of view, I think Adani port, from long-term perspective, I think it can be a good choice.
All right, just a standard disclaimer, Adani Ports is also held by Adani Group of Companies, and NDTV Profit, which is held by AMG Group of Networks, is also held by Adani Group of Companies. Moving on, the next question is from Vishal. His question is on Federal Bank. Now, he's bought 135 shares at 167 a piece, and he wants to know if these are the levels at which he'll be able to, make further profits if he keeps holding, or, he should exit at the current levels. Osha, I'll come to you on this one. Your view on Fed Bank?
See, overall, Vishal has taken a position before the breakout around the zone of 167 and is making a decent profit in the near term. But overall, looking at the technical perspective, this counter looks very strong on the technical perspective. Yes, there can be a possibility of profit booking from the higher end as it is at a 52-week high, but on the lower end I am expecting a very strong support near the zone of 195 to 200 odd levels. So that should not be any kind of concern for the investor, and from here onwards I am expecting that, looking at the technical development, this counter have seen approximately 180 and 200 is the consolidation breakout. So on the higher end I am expecting a target of nearly 220 in the short term period. So for target of 220, Vishal should definitely hold into his position. And on the lower end, 195, 196 is a very strong support for this counter.
Vishal has clarified that he's got 158 shares. Of course, we said 135 earlier, but then that the advice still holds true, Vishal. It's not really a dramatic increase in the shares that you've spoken about. The next caller, I believe, is from Mumbai. Rajan Iyer is calling us. Rajan, good morning to you, and thanks so much for calling us. How can we help you today?
Good morning, Alex. I am so elated that I am getting a chance to speak to you for this week also. Last week also I spoke, and really I don't remember. My profuse apology that I don't remember the name of the madam who both of you coordinate really the program very well.
Her name is Mahima. Thanks so much for calling, Rajan. How can we help you? What stock would you like to know about?
Just one, I will take half a minute more.
Yes.
Congratulations for starting the program of KYC, and I am very eager to see that program today.
Thank you.
And
so
now
much.
I am coming to the query. Holding 300 shares of Agility India.
Yes.
Though I was not allotted in an IPO, but in that range I purchased at 30 when it listed. According to me, it has a very good prospects or something. Can you advise? Because I am a long-term investor. 3 years I am ready to wait.
Yeah. Okay, I can get you a view. Let me go across to Saurabh on this one. Rajan, first of all, thank you so much for the kind words that you had for us. It means a lot to us. Saurabh, on the fundamentals, if you bought at 30, he's in the green right now. Stock is currently trading at 38. Sagility, how do you like the fundamentals?
Alex, it is a relatively new listing. I have gone through this company. Can't comment.
Okay, fair. Okay. Would you at least be able to give us a view on the space that it plays in?
No, I don't know actually.
Okay, that's a fair point. All right. So then, unfortunately, Rajan, we can't help you with your question because it's a relatively new listing, as you've pointed out, and the technicals, we'll have to give Osho a few more weeks perhaps to get the data. Am I right, Osho?
Yes, correct. As it is a very newly listed company, so technical data is not suffice for having any kind of view in this count.
You know what I'll do is I'm going to suggest that Agam look at this in Know Your Company, since you know that you're going to be watching this, and I will make the pitch to him. And maybe, by the way, in case you've got companies that you want to know about, you can write to us and I can pass on the message to Agam to look at on Know Your Company. The next question we've got is Sterling and Wilson Solar, and this is Venkatramani's question. He's writing it from Bengaluru. He's got 180 shares, which he's bought at an average price of 634 rupees per share. The stock is currently trading below that, just sub 500. He's asking whether to hold or exit from a perspective of 13 months. Osho, on the technicals, how does it look?
See, overall, there has been a steep correction in this counter from the zone of 800 towards the zone of 500 now. So there has been no respite, no pullback that has been seen in this counter. But looking at the technical perspective, there has been, the indicators are into a very oversold territory. So from here onwards, going lower will be a very low probability. But also looking at the technical perspective, in the month of March 24, approximately 460, 450 was the low that this counter has made and started gaining traction. So looking at the historical trend, 450 should be acting as a support, 455 to 60 should be acting as a support to this counter, while there can be some kind of respite on the higher end, but a conviction in this counter will return only once it surpasses the zone of 550 on the higher end. So for the timing, I would suggest to stay invested, keeping a stop of 455. The time it reaches 550, then we can see a decisive up move in the coming periods.
That's the view coming in for Sterling and Vincent. And we have our next caller. Sandeep from Hyderabad is calling. Sandeep, thanks for calling. How can we help you?
Ma'am, I have a Cochin Shipyard shares of 10 shares at 1450 I bought for the next 3 months, because I could see that the government has come in Maharashtra also. It would be a right spend. Just wanted to check what would be the target for the next 3 months, and I would like to buy more of Cochin Shipyard and the defense stock. As well, BDL is also one which has bottomed up. Just wanted to check these two shares, whether we can hold it for a longer time or can we buy more from them at this stage.
All right. Osho, I'll straight away come to you for this one. First counter is Cochin Shipyard and the second one is BEL.
See, definitely Cochin Shipyard, looking at the recent movement in the last week, it can be assumed that it has formed a very strong base for itself. There has been very strong developments on the technical front. The counter has seen a very strong pullback from its short-term moving average, and it's now moving beyond the 200 a simple moving average, which is a very positive development. So in the coming period, one can definitely stay invested. 3 month time horizon can give a decent profit in this counter. immediately I expect approximately 1965 to 2000 could be seen as the immediate target. But I would say that if someone holds it even for a longer duration, the returns can be even higher. So overall, the counter has seen a decent pullback, and I expect that from here onwards there can be a trend reversal in Cochin Shipyard. And the same applies for BDL also. In BDL, there has been a decent move in the last week. The counter still hovers near the cluster of its.
Just a second. I think he meant BEL, not VDL.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yes.
So for BEL, this counter have seen a breakout. So its technical chart is even better than BDL. So this counter have seen a breakout around the zone of 300 odd levels and is showcasing a decent move in the last week. So I'm expecting that there can be a continuation to the higher end. 320 should be the first target for short term. But again, I'm not very much aggressive on the target. The time it reaches the zone of 320, then we can see it retesting the 52-week high of nearly 335, 340 odd levels. So technically, both the counter looks very sound. One can definitely even accumulate freshly in these counter for short to medium term time frame.
Sandeep, congratulations first of all for the clarity of your question, and hopefully this answers the question that you had. I'm being reminded by our viewers on WhatsApp that I have promised to take only one question per viewer, and so I would request the callers to restrict their questions to one stock, and so that we can accommodate more. The next question we're taking is from Kumar, who's writing in from Chennai. He's asking about Restaurant Brands Asia and whether or not it can be bought at the current level from the long-term perspective. On the fundamentals, do you like this space? The QSR space has been under a little bit of pressure, but some signs of recovery, one would say. Saurabh, would you say that that's the case for Restaurant Brands Asia?
Yeah, and habits have changed over the last few years, and I think this space is emerging now a good contender to be part in the portfolio. For example, Jubilant Food, specialty restaurants, or this restaurant brand. I think these companies are likely to do a good business because of the out eating and home deliveries and all. So in my sense, I think yes, you can invest in this company.
All right. The next caller that we have is Naved from Bengaluru. Thanks for calling, Naved. How can we help you?
Hey, hi guys. Actually, I am holding 529 sales shares from last 2 years at the price of 93. So I can hold for another 6 months to 1 year. So my question is, can I hold further or I can sell?
Before I move on to our guest, may I know what was the rationale behind investing in this 2 years ago?
So I started with short-term trading actually, but it was eventually going very high due to the metal cycle. But it went to around 170. Now again, it's going down again. It's took support at 114. So that's a confusion I have now. I can hold it or I can sell it.
Okay. Osho, I'll come to you on this one. View on sale, and secondly, is this strategy a right strategy, because he was trading for a short term and then he kept on holding it because he was not making profit. So do you think this is the right way to trade?
Firstly, on the trading perspective, I would say that if anyone is having a kind of a loss, one should definitely try to mitigate the risk of their capital. So that is the first thing that one should definitely have. But looking at the technical perspective of sale specifically, then this counter has been into a broader time frame higher zone. So I expect on the monthly chart, this counter has seen a very decent movement in the last 2 to 3 trading years. And also I am expecting that with the correction from the higher end of nearly 160 towards 120, 115 odd levels, this counter has again retesting the breakout zone of nearly 115 odd levels on the monthly time frame chart. So here onwards also I would be saying that one should stay invested as an investor, not for a trader perspective, but as an investor, one should definitely try to stay invested in this counter. There can be a decent pullback towards the zone of 140 from a short to medium term time frame, not very much aggressive in the immediate term basis or very short term time frame. So if one person has a patience to hold it for a higher period of time, then one can definitely try to hold the counter.
Naved, I hope that answers your question. Shriram from Chennai is our last caller for the day. Shriram, thanks so much for calling us. I believe you want to know about Mahindra & Mahindra, right?
Yes, I have bought 100 stocks of Mahindra recently. at rate of 3,000 rupees. While I do have 500 stocks of Tata Motors with the recent movement coming in Mahindra & Mahindra, I thought I will invest some in Mahindra to distribute. But I want to know the strategy that should I hold or shift to Tata Motors from Mahindra with a 1 to 2 years run.
Okay, so it's a fundamental acquisition that you have made. Have you followed the recent updates? Is that why you invested based on the electric vehicle launch and all of that?
Exactly, yeah, commercial and electric, and that's when I invested in, I started looking at Mahindra.
Understood. There's also, of course, the other angle which has to do with the farm equipment sector and the tractor sales and the question marks about rural recovery and all of that. So let me take your question to Saurabh on the fundamentals. Saurabh, always I've noticed with regard to Mahindra & Mahindra, one of two things happen, right? Either the farm equipment sector, which is underperforming, you have the automotive sector that outperforms, and you have, if the automotive sector is not doing well, you have the backup in the form of farm equipment. In certain scenarios, this is actually not panned out this year. So you've seen a turnaround a couple of months back. Is that set to continue in the second half?
See, while the Indian automotive industry is not putting up a good show, but by and large, Mahindra is relatively better. I mean, the Kharif season was really good, and the Rabi season is expected to do good. So in that sense, farm sector is expected to do well in the ensuing future. So in my opinion, I think the valuations are now on the higher side, but because it is the only stock which is doing good, if you compare it with the Maruti or maybe Tata Motor. So in that sense, I think if he is willing to hold for the long term, he can hold. With respect to the Tata Motor, I think all the companies are struggling with the Indian sale, and with the Tata Motor, the majority of the sales comes from their Land Rover and Jaguar brands. And the sales are really, slowing in both in Europe and China. So in that sense, I think it is better to avoid Tata Motor as of now.
The next query is from Satya, who's from Chennai. He wants a view on Zydus Life Sciences for the next 2 quarters. Osho, I'll come to you for this one. 6 months, how does the chart look?
See, overall, there has been a steep correction in this counter with no kind of pullback as of now. But on the technical front, there has been a kind of reversal from the oversold territory. The counter is witnessing a positive divergence and also has started moving towards the 20-day exponential moving average. So looking at the recent development, that will be very early sign to say that there can be a formation or reversal in the trend. But overall, looking at the developments that I just mentioned, I expect that there can be, in the coming period, there can be a decent move that can be seen in this counter. So one should definitely accumulate it. If not, 1000 is the zone beyond which the counter can see the mojo returning back in this space. So I will be saying that 1000 is the immediate resistance for the counter. The time it breaches the zone of 1000, we can see a decent gradual up move towards the zone of 1100, followed by 1160 in the coming periods.
Osho, thanks so much for that view. And in fact, Osho and Saurabh, thanks so much for joining us, for answering all the questions that you did. We're completely out of time, but like I said, in the middle of the show, watch out for Know Your Company. That is the new show that is coming up right now. Do stay tuned. Be back after a very quick break. This is NDTV Profit.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter. The Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter. The Wall Street deals, finance and policy news that could shape your tomorrow. The newsmakers, the trendsetters, and the innovators. In 30 minutes, we've got you covered. So stay ahead, stay informed, and stay profitable with Profit 360.
Headlines you start your day with. What matters worldwide is now in the palm of your hands. Get ready to seize the day and maximize your financial potential. Stay ahead of the curve with all you need to know on NDTV Profit.
Becoming a member of jury of NDTV was a totally different challenge altogether.
When you recognize contribution to society, these stories are inspiration for everyone who views them.
The NDTV Indian of the Year is an extremely important initiative.
Nominees were just extraordinary.
Each one of them is a rock star.
And the achievers in this field who are inspiration for the Indians in this country have been chosen for this prestigious award.
When the whole day passes like a blur, the news just whizzes past, and you're trying to stay informed. It is our job to bring you news that truly matters. At Profit 360, we cut through the clutter. The Wall Street deals, finance and policy